I'm Diane Windingland, virtual speech coach, and I'm passionate about the power of public speaking. Many years ago, when I joined my local Toastmasters club, I was amazed at the transformation I saw in people as their confidence increased and their skills in public speaking. Toastmasters led me to my calling to want to coach and train subject matter experts to speak with clarity and confidence and harness the power of public speaking. But it wasn't always smooth sailing for me, even. I'll never forget my first time speaking at Table Topics in Toastmasters, an impromptu speaking portion of the meeting where you have 1 to 2 minutes to speak on a topic that you weren't prepared to speak on. You get some question as a prompt. And I spoke for a whopping 15 seconds. My hands were shaking, my knees were shaking, my voice was shaking, and then I just sat down. Well, I did improve, and I even competed in speech contests. Some I did well, some not so well. One that didn't go so well was when I was giving a speech in front of about 100 people. And in the middle of the speech, I totally blanked out. And I just stared at the audience for 9 to 10 seconds, which felt like an eternity waiting for my words to come back to me. Needless to say, I didn't win. I didn't even place. But I have learned more from my failures than from my successes. And I learned two important lessons. The first was to internalize and not memorize a speech. I had tried to memorize that speech word for word. And I realized, the audience doesn't know what you're going to say. So if you say it a little differently, it doesn't matter. Also, I realized that by trying to memorize it word for word, I had created a rut in my mind. I had no alternate paths. And when I got thrown out of that rut, I didn't know how to continue on. The second important lesson, and probably even more important than the first, was to give the audience a gift, to consider my presentation as a gift to the audience, to help them think, feel, or act differently to improve their lives. Instead, at that speech, I was concerned that people would judge me. I was being kind of selfish. I was more focused on what they would think about me than the gift that I could give them. Now, I teach these lessons and more to clients that I coach. Things like even how to reduce ums or create a great outline for a speech. I'll never forget one client that I had, Michael, a senior lighting technician whose company had hired me because they were afraid that he was going to embarrass them when he spoke at a conference. His biggest problem was that he said a lot of ums. And yes, he did. When I had him give the first 3 minutes of his speech, he had 30 ums, which is very high. And fast forward 10 minutes, he was down to 3 ums. Now, I didn't have any secret method. It was simply a Coke can and a pen. And I would hit the Coke can every time he said which was annoying to him. And I said, just pause. Instead of saying just pause. And when he got back from that conference, he sent me an email about how well it went. For the first time ever, people were asking him for his business card. Well, my methods may have changed over the years. I now meet with most of my clients via Zoom, and I use artificial intelligence, Udly, for giving speech analytics on things like and pace. But my passion for public speaking has not diminished. If you want to be a better speaker, if you want your team to be a better speaker, reach out and contact me, Diane Windingland, virtual speech coach.